Hi everyone, my name is Omobalanle. Welcome back to the most exciting show in Nigeria right now. On the show with me today, is the most amazing woman. This woman is so beautiful, godly, powerful. I just can't contain my happiness. So with me today, I have Tiger Fire Rose.
The one and only. Google me. The one and only. Any other one is a counterfeit. Is either incomplete, but Tiger Fire is that's me.
Can you just imagine? So let's go to the business of the day.
Okay.
So Tiger, today we are talking about supernatural childbirth experience. So how God helped you during childbirth,
Hi.
how it came through for you, and things in that light.
Yeah.
So firstly, how many kids do you have right now?
Well, I currently possess 2 children.
This is about to be a very funny episode. So did you want kids?
No, I did not want kids.
Okay. It's about to
I didn't want kids and now I have to.
So how did you land 2 children? Please walk us through the process.
It's good.
It's good. That's why we are here. But like, how did you land it? Like, how soon after marriage did you you did not want children?
So I didn't want children for 2 years after marriage. I was like, okay, at least let me. So first and foremost, my first this thing was no kids. But if I have to have kids, at least I need 2 years to like balance and just like settle in and just because I'm a planner kind of thing. I'm a planner. I like to know that okay, this is that, and well, in God. Depending on your journey. So the thing is, everybody's journey in God is one, but it's also uniquely tailored to you and like the story God will have that God would write with you, So for someone like me that I'm a planner, there are a lot of things that I'm unlearning in Christ. So God's journey with me has been basically more of an NFA journey and is intentionally for me. It doesn't mean that everybody's journey is going to be an NFA journey per se. It's just for now, it's just the part of me that God would have, for me to learn to let go and surrender. So that would be one of the major lessons I learned through my pregnancy and having 2 kids is surrender and God's will, not my will. Because left to my will, I'm a baby girl for life, man. But in God's will, God would have me, procreate and stuff. So for my first child, even before like maybe 2 weeks or even a month before, like 3 weeks before my wedding, because I'm like, I know they hear mistake would be my side. So even 3 weeks before my wedding, I already got on contraceptives so that all those stories that touch like the thing had not activated before this thing. I got the implant in and everything, so we Gucci and everything. So it's like but the thing is, before I did that, so in doing everything I used to do, I always let God know. Like I have conversations with God constantly. So I'm like, God, this is what I want to do and everything. And last is you, that I promise you when you are ready, tell me and I will remove it. When you are ready, I'm ready kind of thing. But like, this is what I want to do right now and whatnot. And I felt the release to go ahead and do it. So I did it. So about 6 months in, I had a dream. And in the dream, my one of my pastors, Pastor Desola, she came in the dream and she was smiling at me. Like, was it Pastor Desola or Kiza? I think it was Pastor Desola. Yeah, it was Pastor Desola. So I was hanging out with other people's kids because I'm really good with kids because kids are just vibes and I'm full of vibes. So if it's your child, of course I can vibe with your child. I'm trying not to carry the child home. So in the dream, I was like just playing and doing stuff and everything, and the kid was like really into me, and it was just vibes. And then Pastor Sarah was now smiling and everything. Was like, "Oh, you're ready." I said, "Excuse you."
What do you say?
I didn't hear well. He said, "You're ready." I said, "It's time." I said. So the funny thing is that about a few months before, maybe 2 months before, I was on this journey of, I need to go and get my master's, and I need to go and get my master's abroad. That's where I was. So I was on that active track. Like, I was like, masters, get pedigree and this thing, so my shoulder pad can get higher. When I'm like, meet up like, I need my master's.
Yeah.
So I was on that active track, and then I had a dream, because God talks to me through dreams very clearly. Like, I don't play with my dream world. So I had a dream very clearly where, there was this like, maybe not a crusade, like how will I put it? I was a service going on, like actively people were worshiping and everything, people were receiving word, so I was standing for my own word. I was like, masters, here we come. And then was it Pizza? The man of God looked at me. I was just like, oh, it's not your time for masters.
Whoa.
I'll let you know what to do.
I'll cry, oh. In that dream, I will cry.
I'm like, yeah. It's like, no, it's not your time for masters, just, this thing, I'll have you do another thing, blah, blah, blah. When I woke up, I said, this one that I'm not going for masters, I hope it's not pre. I hope it's not pre. And then I know anything, I was just like, okay, I shall continue. So fast forward to like 6 months into marriage, and then I'm having this dream, and then he's saying you're ready and everything, and I'm like, I'm not ready. It's like, you're ready, it's time. I said, because I knew exactly what he was talking about when he said you're ready, and I knew it was pregnancy he was talking about and everything. And even in that, in your dream, you can't lie. Who you are is who you are in your dream. Whatever response that you have to a situation in your dream, that is that, because you cannot influence your spirit world.
Yeah.
So in your dream, if you're afraid, that's probably the state of your heart. So it's probably God trying to work on something, or that sort of thing. So if you want to know your real person, who you really are, just enter the spirit world, because your mind, feel lie, feel. So, and in that dream, I already said to God that even if I lie to the world, I'll always be honest with Him. That's a decision I made a long time ago. That even if I did bold face for the world, that with Him, He's my solace, He's my everything. And the real question is, how can I lie to an all-knowing God? As in, does it make sense? How does it make sense? Whose time am I wasting?
True.
Do you get whose time am I wasting? So let's cut to the chase. Like, if I'm not this thing, but it doesn't mean that that's me enforcing myself on. I'm just listening that help me. Like, you get. So in that dream, my instant reaction was, I'm not ready. And he's like, don't worry, I said, I'm not ready. Next day, I said, I'm not ready. I started crying, and then, he's petting and like, don't worry, to be fine. I said, help me, resting in the bosom of my God.
Yeah.
Like, and he's crying, help me, I'm not ready. He said, don't worry, you'll be fine. I'll be with you. I'll walk you through it. I said, help my heart. Like, okay, no problem. So I woke up, and I'm just like, I told my husband that. So I had a dream that God said it's time for us to have a baby and everything. It's like, okay, sure, no problem. And then I went immediately. I didn't waste time, because we had a deal. Yeah. So I took out the implant and everything, and then I spoke to God to help my heart, to help me start to desire a child. Because it's one thing to say, oh, you walk in obedience, but so that you will not be angry in obedience. Yeah. Your heart position really matters in all of these things, So I told God to help my heart, to help me to desire, to want this child, so that I'm experiencing like the beauty and the everything of it, And God helped me. Like, I started to actually want a child. I actually started to this thing. Do I want a child right now? No. But then my first child, yes, I did it, and I knew that it was God that did that for me. It was God that turned it around for me. So I started to desire, I started to want it, and and all of that. So I got pregnant maybe a month or so, or 2 months after. Like, I don't even know when, because with the hormonal implant, sometimes like the first few months, maybe like you don't have a period. So I don't even know how to track it. I just know that after I took it out, maybe like 2 months in, I got pregnant. I was actively this thing. So I also said, God, please speedy this thing, help my heart. That in the first place, I know to want this thing. If I now gonna start entering struggle of 2 years later, I still dey cry. I beg, I cannot expire. I'm not yet strong like that. Help this baby. Help me, please, just, And so I just prayed about the timing, so about the duration and everything. And God actually, this thing, I would like, I say sometimes that God spoils me a lot. God does pamper me a lot, just this thing like that. And I know those seasons when I'm being pampered, and I'm so grateful for it. I'm never ungrateful for it. I'm always in a state of thanksgiving towards it, because the story can be any way, but He chose for it to be that way for me. And it just shows how loving and how caring God is, and how intentional He is. And so, of course, I read the Pregnant Women's Bible, Supernatural Childbirth. I read the book, and it was initially, like, when I was younger, when I used to see people reading, but I'm like, this book, will I read it? I read it, Like, I read it, and, like, it helped me to build my faith stronger. It helped me to believe in a supernatural childbirth. And my supernatural childbirth and faith journey was always towards a cesarean section.
Wow.
Yep. I said it from before even getting pregnant, from whatever it is, that if I'm ever going to have a baby, I'm going to have an elective CS. And my baby is not less than a baby. Do you know why I know?
Why? Because
I have not seen it written on anybody's forehead that na CS they use born me. In a room full of 100 people, you say, you is CS. This is your behavior. It's because of CS. It's your behavior. It's because of natural child. So it affects absolutely nothing in the baby in the long run. You get what I mean? So it does nothing for this thing. And if that's what I have, if that's what my faith is geared towards, that's fine, And if God does not have an issue with it, then that's fine, for my own understanding. And so I prayed to God about it. Also, I said, God, this is what I wanted. I actually want an elective CS. And it's not because of anything. It's just because this is where I can channel my faith towards. Me, I no go collapse for road. I beg. This is where I can. And then the faith is 100%. Like this one, I know that God, I know. I have testimony. I have this one, not testimony of that I've done CS before, but testimony of, I had an appendicitis surgery.
Wow.
And my healing was like this. I didn't really feel the pain. I can't even remember. God was with me. My healing was this thing. So I have a testimony. I have something to write on. You did this for me already. And I want to build on this faith. Like, I beg, don't carry me where I don't know. Kind of thing, And so that was like, my pregnancy was so many layers of journeys for me. So I started to, of course, believe and everything. So I told Kene, I told my husband that this thing, so they should be telling me that, I'm pregnant. My friend Abike was planning her wedding. I was telling her, as in the room, they're laughing like this thing. I said, guys, I'm almost pregnant right now. I was so dramatic. I was like, guys, I'm almost pregnant like this thing. Don't shake me too much. I was like, don't shake me too much, because it was her birthday. Her birthday is in June, So it was her birthday, and and she was we were preparing for her wedding. So we were like trying to like just discuss dates and everything. I was like, if you have it this thing, but then God, I would have given birth to the baby by this thing, so I'll be able to be on the train and everything. It's like, what is wrong with you? Like, did you? I say I'm pregnant. As I'm like this, I'm pregnant. You see, what is wrong with you? I said, just leave me. But you see, I said it. Don't worry. You will say it that I said it. So that was the energy I came with. I came with the energy of I'm pregnant already. So I was counting, this week 1, this week 2.
Are you serious?
I carried that energy with me that I'm pregnant. Like, I'm sure, like, when you're watching, they will remember, like, this thing. You're just like, this child, I'm just tired of you. I'm like, please, don't just this thing. When you come, just call me mommy. Anyway, so that was the energy I entered. Because for me, if God has said yes, that's what I'm riding on. If God has said it's time, then it's time. If God has said, this is, then that's what it is. I mean, once God says go, I know the air come back. I just used to go. As in, all I'm looking at is like this until He says stop, before I'll now calm down. But once I've heard go like this, I don't, that's it. I've gone. I've reached front. So that was the energy I entered that whole phase with, And so, like, maybe like 3rd week, 4th week, I was feeling some type of way. And another thing is that I know my body. So I was feeling some type of way and everything. And I'm just like, I feel like actually like legit feel like, apart from all the faith talk and bands, actually legit feel pregnant right now, And so I take like the PT test, the home kit, and it's like negative, And I'm like, but I feel pregnant, And then I go to the hospital and they do a test. This is like 4 weeks, right? And they do a test. No, this is like 6 weeks. And they do a blood test and it's negative. And then, Kenneth tried to console me and everything. I'm like, don't console. I said I'm pregnant.
What do you mean I'm not?
I said I'm pregnant. I said, whose reports will I believe? I will not believe it. What is this nonsense? Boom, rubbish. I said I'm pregnant. They even gave me malaria medicine. I not take it. I said they gave me malaria medicine. I went to go and check this thing. I saw that something pregnancy had flung the thing away. I said I'm not going to take anything that's going to affect my baby. I said I'm pregnant. Kenny was like this. I said I'm pregnant. Kenny, we are pregnant. He said okay, we are pregnant. I believe you. I say which side of this thing do you want to stand on when this thing is all said and done? Do you want to stand on the side of faith or science? God, I said this time.
Come on. Wow.
So as I came with that, the miracle here is that this is coming from someone that said, God, I don't want a baby. I'm not sure. So remember the backstory of this thing, that I'm not really interested in children like this, but as God has said it, I enter with my full head and with my full body. So I immersed myself into it. And so 2 weeks later, I'm doing my hair. That's 6 weeks now, like 8 weeks now in. So 2 weeks later, I'm doing my hair. And is whatever it is, I'm listening to music, we just the vibe, all of that. So I'm having lunch, right? And then I'm eating. I finish eating this food and then I eat the chicken and I pieces it well. And then I'm just there, and the next thing I'm just feeling some type of way. My eye just they turn me, everything just they do me. I'm just like, what's going on? I said, excuse me, please. That's why I told the hairdresser, sorry, please excuse me, I just quickly want to pee. I got the toilet like this. I nicely offloaded everything I just ate inside. It didn't come out from the behind. It came out from my mouth into the toilet. And I was just like,
this is it.
It has happened. It has happened. And then I came out and I was just smiling. I was just like, okay, whatever. So she finished my hair and all of that, and then I'm just like, because I had like one PT left, so I bought a bunch and everything, and I told God that I know they spent too much money, that this thing I bought it once and this I'm not going to buy extra. It's within this batch that I will get my positive result, and it's between this batch I'll get my miracle, right? So I waited for a bit, like maybe like I even forgot actually. Like in my mind I'm just like, oh, this is it, so I forgot. Then one day randomly I was just at home and then I was just bored. I was like, I'm not even taking that urine PT and everything. I'm going to try it out. And then I just did it, like, vibes and bands. I didn't forget, like, just did it, dropped it, this thing, came back, and I just thought it like that. Just like, I'm like, oh God, physical evidence, time to rub it in everybody's face. Yes. Like, who is a woman of God? Who is
Tiger?
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm like, if you did not know before, now you know that I am a prophet of the Most High God. Yeah. So it was time to this thing. So I just, of course, told my husband, like, oh, guys, so I just did a test and blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to the hospital now to confirm, whatever. Because, so I went to the hospital, did blood, everything was good. So blood had aligned. Science decided to finally align with my feet, so it was, everything. So, of course, I told my friends that, guess who's pregs now. So anyway, it was all like good news and stuff. But then another layer of this pregnancy is that within all of this, there were some things that happened, and then I was legit fighting God throughout my entire pregnancy.
Throughout?
Yes, throughout my entire pregnancy, I was fighting God.
Wow.
But it was like me and God had this fight on this side, but then we had this journey we're going on this side, and this did not affect this. Like the fight I was having with God did not affect this promise, this journey, and this promise that God was taking me on. Mm-hmm. So everybody knows that I hate drugs. I absolutely hate drugs. I can't deal. And then during my pregnancy, I could not swallow folic acid. It was so terrible, I couldn't. So I'm just like, you know what, I'm done. I tried. Yeah, but before the pregnancy, I just stock up on folic acid. I'm just like, prepping. Once that baby enters like this, me and folic acid, no see eye to eye. So I'm just like, okay, so I can't take these drugs. If I can't take folic acid, I definitely cannot take pregnant care. Pregnant care that is like the size of my head. So I'm like, so we have to find a way to do this. So I'm just like, So it's just like, so the Holy Spirit was guiding me throughout, do your fruits, do your veggies, do this thing. When I need to do something, he'll let me know in a dream. Like when my PCV was like really low, it came in a dream. I saw it in a dream. I did blood test in the dream, and then I saw the results that, oh, my iron, like I don't have that, I need to take iron and everything. Then I went to the hospital, did the PCV, and saw that it was actually low. So that's how, like, I was
a woman of faith. When you get tired, run. Just
God was just doing things that pregnancy. I was just seeing things, and then my dream world like came alive. Like I had some of my most accurate, most epic dreams during pregnancy. I didn't get full experience. It was like I'll have out of body experiences. Like I won't even know I'm asleep. I'm awake is like real life, and then I'm engaging. There was one time at this thing, like the exact same thing that was happening. I was like, but I was telling my husband, but you already came here, I already told you, and I said, I'm just coming in now. You did not tell me anything.
Wow.
I'm just like, what is going on? Like I had a full-on conversation, and then when I woke up, I was having a conversation, and I was like, but we've already said this. Like I felt like I was repeating everything. I'm like, we've already said it. I told you this. Say you did not tell. I was like, I didn't experience things. I was getting like strong dreams for people that like, and I was like, it was an amazing experience. And keep in mind that all of this, I was still fighting God, because I had one experience like this that wasn't. I'm like, God, shady wine me. I'm like, hey God. So are you? Like I was just trying to understand, because it was such a shaking for me. Like, so are you like, does this negate like the prayers? Does it negate the word? Like I was just trying to. It was just like the thing was so distinct. So I was still healing from that. So I was in the process of healing from that. So even like the prayers, I couldn't engage God in prayers of like the intimacy of like the relationship we had. I was basically writing on banked prayers during my pregnancy. I was writing on banked prayers. I was writing on past promises and words that He had given me. We were just fighting. It's me that was fighting God, because God cannot fight me. It was me that was like this thing that was just in this phase and everything. But God was faithful through it all. He didn't see like this girl kind of thing, and then He didn't take that, and like all His words still came. He was still giving me guidance. He was still giving me all these dreams. He was still like giving me all these words. He was still encouraging me. When my heart started fretting about finances, I had a dream about finances with the child, about how He would provide for the child, that I shouldn't fret and everything. It was so like everything was so like even fears I didn't know I had, He came and He reassured me every time. And of course I was thankful every time that this thing. And so towards one of the things I prayed for actively was for my baby. And of course after reaching supernatural childbirth, I was like, like say we feel more this speaking, right? You can have down to like, oh, you want your baby to this, you want baby to that. So I was like, so I want a light-skinned, beautiful child.
Oh my God.
And I did not even say, oh, I want the light skin so you can be to your glory. This thing. I said, God, I want a light skin baby for the cruise of it. Look at me, midnight, like black girl magic. I will not be walking around with a yellow popo. Everybody will be like, is that your child? Yeah. I said, God, for the cruise, just give me yellow baby. Just for the cruise of it. Maybe just this thing, maybe just the vibe and everything. And that was exactly what I told him. But then, of course, I told him all the other godly attributes I wanted in my child. She should be a leader, she should be a force, she should be, she should be so smart, she should be this. I'm not joking, everything on that list. In fact, she's more than everything I asked for. Even me sometimes, when I was like, my friend would just be like, but isn't that what you prayed for?
Yeah. Shot yourself in the leg.
Exactly. Like, did you not say you wanted a child that would always know exactly what she wanted?
Yeah.
I'm like, yes, but I know more than her. She can't be fighting me? But then, so it's like, so everything, and then, it wasn't just this day. I would always put it up on my Instagram. I'm like, guys, my yellow baby. And then I used to have dreams about my yellow baby. I would have dreams about my yellow baby. I would see her every day. And I remember I had 3 distinct dreams where I saw her and I saw what she looked like. And I saw that she was beautiful. She looked like she was yellow. She was this. She was like, I saw everything. And the exact 3, like everything. And then when I had her, she looked exactly how she looked in the dream. Like it was so wild. I was just like, what is happening? Like, it was just a full experience. Like, it was an experience. My pregnancy, because my pregnancy was beautiful. I actually worked until the last day. A lot of people didn't even know I was pregnant. I was engaging people with my, because like my bump is usually not as big. I kind of like, I just round like, and I naturally like big dresses, so you would just think I'm like, if you don't know me, you just think like, oh, maybe I'm just a fluffy girl. You won't know that I'm actually pregnant. So up until I had to be telling woman, so it's because I was on a project, and then I was telling him also, we had been working for like maybe a month together, and he had no idea. And I was telling him that, oh, okay, so this thing so I'm gonna have my baby on Wednesday next week. And he's like, which baby? I'm like, the one in my tummy. He's like,
Are you pregnant?
I'm like, yeah, I'm giving birth next week. He said,
Can't you see?
how? He's like, no, I had to stand up. I stood up like this. I did the cloth like this. I stood up, I did the cloth like this, so he could say, well, ah! He was the most hilarious. He was like, ah, this woman, hey! He was always like, you want to cover me? Why and like production work is very like bling, 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 and
everywhere.
Energy, like, and like the energy didn't drop. I was so thankful to God. Like I had like the energy, I had this thing, I was up onto this thing, and then they now got to. So who told you are going to give birth next week? I was like, because I'm going to give birth. That's when I'm going to have my baby, my surgery and everything. So I'll be good by blah blah blah. It's like, So I say, God's promise to me, God will never fail. So yeah, so of course, it's not every time that people opt for elective CS in Nigeria.
Yeah.
So there was a bit of, not totally pushback, but just, are you sure you don't want to try? Because my gynae could not understand it, because I was having a beautiful pregnancy. Literally, I don't even spend up to 2 minutes in his office. At some point when he sees me, he'll say, you are fine, Abby. I'll say, yes, sir. I'm fantastic. I'm great, and I know you're good. Any complaints? No. They will just ask me the routine questions to make it not be as if when you ask.
Yeah.
They'll ask me the routine questions, and of course the answer is always, I'm fine, I'm there, so the levels are good, everything looks great. Okay, take your routine drugs, go. Routine drugs, dustbin.
Never have I seen a woman like this.
Routine drugs inside the dustbin. Please use your drugs, oh. Hey, I beg. Hey, don't follow me, enter ditch.
Acid, please.
Use your drugs, oh. Hey, but man, watermelon was my best friend. I consumed watermelon, vegetables, all of that. So God helped me to naturally desire the things that would help me like get all the nutrients that I wasn't getting from all these extra drugs. And then I couldn't eat chicken. I couldn't eat and I love my chicken. I love chicken. I love turkey. This thing, and I grew so passionate about egg, guys. I never knew that egg tasted the way it tasted until pregnancy. What? Before, if you give me egg like this, like you're giving me punishment, I'm just like, ugh, egg.
Please.
During pregnancy, if you don't give me egg, I can cry. Hey, pregnancy story gone. And they cry for food, eh? Where's my food? What used to make me cry? Chicken Republic, show me pepper. Yes, I will say your name, Chicken Republic. They show me pepper. Be serving rice and beans without sauce. Hey, God. What? They used to forget to put sauce. That's their behavior. They forget to be putting sauce inside their rice and beans.
I literally go to their brunch and what is wrong with you? What?
I will now be weeping. I will now be crying as I'm eating the food.
Without the sauce. Right.
My husband would even know how to pet me, because where do we even start to pet from? Because pregnancy was a journey, but it was actually a beautiful journey from the beginning to the end. I was healthy, I was fine. When I was about to have my baby, this thing, I just when I was about to have my baby, my pastor, who's my spiritual father, of course, told me that whenever I'm having a baby, no matter the time, I should just call him and everything. That I should let him know that he'll come get me and whatnot. So I'll start feeling some type of way. We had scheduled it for like maybe Wednesday, then maybe on a Monday or so, or Tuesday. I was feeling some type of way, and then you'll be checking your baby's movements. You know how she's moving and all of that, when she's asleep, when she's awake, and this thing. So the time she was meant to be awake and active, I'd not felt her for a very long time. I'd not felt her for a very long time. So I'm just like, she hasn't moved in a bit. So I think we should go to the hospital and all of that. So this was like maybe like 4 a.m. or so. So I called my pastor's wife, and as she tapped him, he woke up. He's like, Emmy's ready, right? So apparently he had had a dream, and God told him that I was ready. God just didn't do things, guys.
So what we gonna do?
See, nobody can write scripts like Jesus. This thing is like, I'm making it up, right? It sounds like a really good film, but real life. As he was waking up, it was like, oh, that this thing that was happening to him, that God told him that is. I was just like, waiting this syrup here. Anyway, so he came to get me, and then he took me to the hospital. You know, the doctor checked me, everything, blah blah blah, and then this baby had been quiet, not do anything. As soon as they said, oh, you know, so I explained that, oh, we're already scheduled for a surgery for Wednesday and everything, but then my gynae's day is Monday, and that he was coming on that Monday anyways already. So they called him, asked him if he said yeah, that he would come and do it. So they come to come and do the surgery and everything. As soon as they said, oh, we're going to do CS, and then we're moving it to Monday, let's check you in to the hospital for this thing, she started moving. I'm just like, wow.
So
okay.
You know what they are doing.
Okay, so it seems like you want to come today, right?
Yeah.
Fine. That's great. No problem. Nobody's fighting you. So, you know, for someone that's about to have a baby, look at this. This is how I was on the bed. Yeah.
So wait, you don't have any pain, no contraction?
No, I was not having pain. I was not having contraction. So I'd been having very light contraction. I think it was Braxton Hicks. Because, you know, I think it was just like, just mild discomfort. So, like, you know, it wasn't anything. So, I was just there, just chilling. Because this is elective CS, you know. I was just there, just chilling. I was like, okay, I'll just to my friend. My friend was like, this will come and visit me. Nina said, like, is this birth? Are you the one that wants to give birth? I was just like, that's what we said. I was like, what? I was not hungry. Because the night before, I wasn't really feeling like food and everything. So, maybe I just snacked on watermelon or something ridiculous like that. And then you can't eat, like, maybe 8 hours or 10 hours before the surgery. And so like the surgeon said it was gonna come, the gynae said it was gonna be there by like maybe 10. So I was like, can wing it to 10 now. Pregnancy hunger, guys, is a different kind of hunger. Don't let anybody lie to you. That pregnancy hunger is real. By the time you cook you like this, you feel your eye, your leg, your toe, you just like this. So I was in that pregnancy hunger phase for a while, and then every time I was like, where's this? He said he's on his way. He now finally arrived around 4. Should you think that he'll come and this thing? I said maybe because I was not acting drama. Maybe if I was saying he'll come and this thing, but I see the vibe, I see the this thing. So I was already getting exhausted during that time. So I was just like, where is he now? So that's why I stayed like that till 6:30.
Whoa.
Yeah, till around 6:30 and everything. Mm-hmm. So like they took me into the theater, you know, and then I have a history with anesthesia my body metabolizes it like really fast, like the smoke am. So before you know it, I will start feeling what's going on. So I noticed it when I had my root canal, when I had my RCT. He had to keep like giving me the local anesthesia again and again. So it was like, it's like your body really metabolizes this thing really fast and everything. So I took note of that for whatever. So when the anesthesiologist was about to give me this thing, I told you, I said, my body do burn through this thing also. Know how you this thing. I was just like, okay. He said, yeah, smoker. I said, I'm not a smoker. I don't smoke. I don't drink. So I don't know why. That's just how it is. So he's like, okay. You know how people can just. That's how they started this thing now. I was there. Well, all this thing. I'd done my worship playlist, right? And then it's playing. I was just, okay. I was still awake. You know. Next thing they brought out the baby, right? And then I'm hearing the cries and this thing, and then they bring the baby for me. Cool. And my first question is she yellow? Oh God! And I'm like, oh my gosh, she's yellow. Cool stuff. Is she fine? My baby's fine. Everything. Next thing, I'm just feeling things. I'm just like, are you people sewing my stomach right now? They're like, what? I said, I can feel what you're doing. He said, what? I can feel what you're doing. And then they stab me with the knife. I'm like, you just stabbed me with the knife. It's like she can't feel it though. It was so hilarious. Like she can't feel it though. And then, you know, it's like, okay, so we're going to have to knock you out. And I'm like, knock me out, please. I don't know. And then so they knocked me out, and then from there I was just like, And then by the time I woke up, next thing I know, they are moving me. I'm on the bed, whatnot, and then this thing. And then I wake up later in the night, and then of course my husband is there, and then I just see everybody like in and out. I'm like in and out of the anesthesia because of course I run out of anesthesia fast, so I woke up fast. I was in and out. I was just I was seeing the people that were coming to visit. I'll see them, this thing, all this thing, but I was tired. Then the next day they try to make you stand up and just walk around. The next day they try to make you stand up, walk around, so that everything doesn't just sit into the head. That'll be like this. So they're like, oh, I should stand up and this thing. And quite honestly, I actually didn't feel anything. Like God was with me. Like I didn't feel anything, like the pain. Like I can't say it was like excruciating pain, like pain that was just like it wasn't like that. Like I stood up. They assisted me to the bathroom. Then when I got there, I was like, yeah, I think I can do this. I can try this, And then, they helped me, but I did. And then I walked back by myself.
Mm-hmm.
And then the hospital that I used, the floor for pregnant women, I think they do that on purpose. Where they put the pregnant women for like after surgery is like 2 or 3 flights of stairs up. Like you walk 3 flights of stairs to get to your room.
Oh, I won't come downstairs till I leave.
No, but the theater is downstairs, so what are you going to do?
Oh my god.
You have to go to your room. You can't sleep in the theater. You can't live in the theater, can you? So that was a journey. So I did that, every step of the way. I was just, Jesus, just be with me. But I did that, and I didn't, like, it didn't seem like much. Like, I was just tired, By, like, the next day, I was having my bath by myself.
Wow.
I was like moving unassisted, And then one thing I uniquely remember is that my stitches healed like really fast because I didn't go home with a wound dressing. Like they removed the plaster there in the hospital, and like they just told me to be cleaning with spirits. Like, I can have someone help me to just be cleaning with spirits. Like then maybe like day 2, 3 they did that. So like everything was just really super fast and super listening. So there was one thing that happened. My blood pressure spiked. Like my blood pressure spiked like 200 and something. Like high blood pressure. Like I was like, because first of all my hair started I was like just feeling my head and I was feeling my chest. I'm just like, what's going on? So I called for the nurse, and the nurse came, and then they did the BP thing and they checked it. I was like 200 and something. They checked it again, it was 200 and something. And like, oh, like you having high blood pressure. They tried to do stuff, and they put me on blood pressure medicine to regulate it. And then I know what triggered it. Like I was stressed. Like I was uniquely stressed by something, and it triggered this and everything. But then I was like, I will not allow this take away from the testimony of what God has done, because God has been good, and God's testimony is that He's good. And then so I started to speak against it. I'm like, my testimony is going to be complete. My miracle is complete. I will not, like, this journey will not end in me leaving this pregnancy with high blood pressure and being on blood pressure meds for the rest of my life. I won't do that. Like, it's not God's will for me. It's not, that's not the testimony, that's not the promise, So I started to speak against that. I started to, of course, still using my medicine. I used my medicine. And then I spoke to God, because, after surgery, you have like a bunch of meds. You can be swallowing like 10 drugs. I was just like, God, me that I cannot swallow folic acid.
How can I do this, Lord?
I can't swallow folic acid, and if I don't take this one will be folic acid. If I don't take this one, infection can arise.
Wow.
I was just like, God, please just help me open my throat. Open my throat. Let me not think about it. Let me know this thing. Just help me find a way. And God actually did. I finished all my meds, like down to the last one. Like I didn't skip anyone. I finished the 1 million meds, and then breastfeeding was another. Breastfeeding, guys. Marry a man that prays. Marry a man that knows Jesus and that can speak the word.
Let
me tell you about my breastfeeding struggle. I'm still in child 1 now.
Yeah, child 1.
So this breastfeeding struggle, the milk was there. I'd even been producing milk since like maybe 7 months.
Are you serious?
Milk do come out. Milk do leak out. Like I was ready. You don't understand. The promise was full.
Whoa.
So I was already lactating and everything. So I was just like, this one, we got it. I don't know, there was something called latching, that, the latch, did this, did that one. So for some reason, she just wasn't latching and everything. And they had already been giving her formula, because of course, yes, I wasn't listening. So and they had been giving her formula, so I'll be trying to breastfeed. I have to let the milk out, right? You know, I've tried to breastfeed, what's this thing? When I try to pump, the thing will not be so painful. I'll just be like, it's too much for me. It's too much for me. So like there was no release, so I was just getting like engorged, and then the thing was like fire. Fire was coming out from my chest.
Wow.
It was like you'll be feeling like this. He had life of his own. It had the life of his own that was expressing. That's how the pain was. So when I got home, so I was home by like the third day. So when I got home, that was the battle I was battling, right? So it was like the breastfeeding, like you saying, she wasn't latching. When you get
Oh my God.
So I'm just like, oh, look, so that at that point, I just broke down. I was just crying. I was tired, you know. I was like trying to heal, and like, you know, I was in pain. And then it's not even pain from my surgery. Like, you know, it's just like, it's not even pain from my surgery. It's pain from a natural thing that should occur naturally, you know. So I was just in there. So I was just crying, you know, at some point. So my husband came. He's like, "What's happening?" I was like, "I don't know. It's just this thing." So I just started like I was crying from frustration and everything. It's like, okay, you know what? It's okay. And my husband laid his hands on my bosom.
Come on.
And he said, "Father Lord, we release the milk.
Amen.
Oh Father, then the baby will latch."
Amen.
You know, he prayed for the baby to latch. He prayed for this thing and this thing. And I'm not joking. The next time that I tried to feed her, this baby latched.
Whoa.
Like she had not this thing. I said, "Father, thank you, Jesus, for pregnant." I appreciated my husband so much more that day. I'm like, "Oh, my King, continue to pray words over me." So, like, you know, so that was actually another miracle that occurred for me. Like, you know, that, you know, came in through my husband. Your miracle can come from anywhere. Don't dismiss it. So yeah, that came in through my husband and all of that. And then my recovery was this thing. By like when I went back, because you do a 2 weeks checkup and then you do a 6 weeks. Like that's 2 weeks, then 4 weeks after. So when I went back for the 2 weeks checkup, everything was fine. You know, my wound had covered. I already said that my wound had healed before leaving the hospital. So like everything went well. You know, it was just like, "Oh, you're good." This and I was already jumping up and I was already, you don't even know that I had a baby. Like it was just like, "Oh, energy back." And, you know, people were calling me for job and like, "Yeah, I'm available." God. I just learn how to rest, guys. So I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'm available. Oh, I can do this." You know. So that was the huge testimony for me that God was with me throughout the child. I got the name of the child. You know, I was even thinking her name would be the love of God, because I felt the overwhelming love of God during like my listening. But the name that like God actually gave me was about the goodness. He told me that he will show me his goodness, and that was what I felt throughout my pregnancy. God's goodness. God was good to me. He was good and he was faithful. And that's why I named her Ireoluwa Kipo. God's goodness never ends. Like, he's good even when I'm terrible. He's good even when I'm spoiled. When I'm being a pampered child, he's good. He's good when I'm unfaithful. He's good when he has no reason to be. Like, he doesn't need a reason to be good. He's just good. That's just his nature. And that's what I experienced with Ireoluwa Kipo. I experienced God's goodness. And it has been, and that's what it has been with her. Like, it's not like it stopped like after I gave it to her. You know, like, her name has always spoken for her. Her goodness has been, every word I received concerning her has been unfolding. Like, it has been, it's like layers. It's like, this is what I thought I had, but then I have an onion. I'm just opening. I'm just like, wow, oh wow, like, more than I asked or thought. That's what God is giving me with her. And as she's growing, I'm just experiencing new levels, and He's teaching me uniquely how to, you know, guide her. Like, it's not a one book fits all parenting guide. It's like, you know, step by step. This, because she's, in the end, what I realize is I'm just a custodian of her. God just gave her to me to steward up to the point where He can now continue the journey with her. And it's my job as a parent to take her through that journey, introduce her to this God, this good God, this her Father from a young age, and for her to know, like, you know, and experience Him and have her own intimate experiences with Him, lead her and guide her through that, so that her relationship with God is strong enough for what God called her to be, or what God would have her be, you know. So and then I'm learning a lot from her. about my relationship with God.
Wow.
She has taught me about how I am as a child with God. As I call myself a child of God, but until you experience parenting, you won't understand what you put God through.
Yeah.
You won't understand what God, because when she's crying, I ask, when people say, oh, she was crying for it, that's why I gave her. I'm like, if she's crying for a knife, will you give her? Do you get? When you live in people's care and you're like, don't give her the biscuit, and then you come and you see the biscuit all over her mouth, like, why did you give her? She was crying. I'm like, so are you telling me that if you're holding a knife and she's crying for a knife, you're going to give her the knife? And then when in giving that example, I relate that to my relationship with God. When I'm crying for something, and God knows that thing is going to hurt me, but at that point, the way I'm crying is like, if I don't have that thing, my world is going to end, because that's how the children cry when you want to give them that biscuit that's going to give them the sugar high, And then I realized that a lot of things that I cry and fight God about, the reason why it's probably not giving me is because it's going to hurt me. Because the reason why I will not give my daughter, my 2-year-old daughter or my 3-year-old daughter or any age-old daughter a knife is because she's going to cut herself.
Yeah.
And it's love. But for her, I'm being wicked. But for me, I see why. And then I only learned that through parenting. You understand? So even just being a parent is opening a different dimension of God and yielding growth for me. I'm growing in my relationship with God and in my intimacy with God. It's changing my perspective. It's growing me. It's maturing me. Wow. Just experiencing that, and that's just I'm learning from her. Like, it's not like, oh, I'm going to teach everything. I'm learning from her. Just with our interactions, I'm just like, okay, God, I'm sorry. Like, I repent where I need to repent, and then a baby girl where I need to be baby girl. Last, God, I'm still a baby girl. Yeah. So yeah, that's it for my first.
Yeah.
Baby.
Oh my God. Tiger, this is like serious. Like, this is so amazing for me, because from this experience I have been blessed immensely, because actually now I'm receiving a lot of direction. It's so amazing.
Yeah.